Hey guys, I'm Louise and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video is just going to be a nice chill vlog yet again because I've got a few things to do and I've got something really exciting to show you and I cannot wait. So yesterday I got my shelf put up, which is absolutely exciting. I'm actually really happy about that, and I'm just going to be doing a little time lapse of me putting the plants that I want to put up there. I'm thinking of putting up all these plants up here, apart from the roses, so my marantas, and I think my alocasias as well. So yeah, let's get started. So this is what I've got going on. This is my shelf. I'm actually really happy with how it's turned out. I'll probably move a few things here and there, but for now this is what I've got. So I have my newest addition, my Alocasia Wenti at the back, right there. Amazing. She's sweating loads because when I got her soil was drenched, so I'm just letting it dry out loads. I have my Stingray Alocasia. And I have my Syngonium Albo Variegata. I've got my Zebrina in the back here and probably have to move her or stake her up because she is drooping loads. I have my Alocasia Polly at the back here. I have my little baby Maranta. That's my red stripe Maranta. I've got my Maranta Lucanura, my Monstera Albo, and my big red stripe Maranta. So the reason why my red stripe Maranta looks so like full, just a lot of actually this has got two plants in. This baby plant, it just separated from the other plant that I got, which I put into this one. And just because of the stems didn't really look too great, I wasn't quite sure if it was going to live or not, so I put it in different pots so I don't have to deal with getting out a dead plant with another plant because it is so stressful and annoying. But yeah, so this is my shelf, absolutely amazing, and now I have more space to put more plants when I get them. Yeah, so I also want to show you my newest addition, my Alocasia Dragon Scale. This is my baby Alocasia Dragon Scale. She's absolutely adorable and I'm actually really happy I got her. Yeah guys, please go look on your local Facebook plant sell and swap page because you'll find all sorts of great deals and it's absolutely crazy what you find on there for a good deal. I've got a little update on a few of my plants. These two plants here have got mealy bugs, I reckon. They look very much like the ones my cactus had. These have never been anywhere near my cactus, so I have no idea what's going on, but I am giving them their treatment. It's just a bit of dish soap with water in a little spray bottle, spraying them once every other day. So far so good. I've given them this second treatment today when I found out what was going on. So yeah, great work so far. Not looking too bad. So my Tradescantia Zebrina, Zebrina over here, had to cut off like a good amount of plant of this one, only because it started it got like small black dots on it, and apparently it's some sort of like fungus or like mold or something. So I'm doing exactly the same treatment as I've looked online that said do that, so that's what I'm doing. I've cut off the affected area so it didn't spread as like everywhere, and obviously this one is quarantined as well. I did the second treatment today as well, just dish soap with water in a spray bottle, so far so good. Alright guys, so this is what I have here. So I have my red stripe Maranta cutting. It's got a pretty good root in its bottom, so I'm going to put it in with here, which I showed you earlier. I've got a load of these Tradescantia quadricolors, which are going straight back into the pots. So this plant is more filler. I've got a Monstera Adansonii, which I got a couple weeks ago. Put it into a bigger pot so it has more space. I have polka dot begonia. A couple of those cuttings are going to go into these little pots here, as well as this Tradescantia Nanook cutting, which I recently got for not so much, so that's going to go into a little pot as well. And then this guy here has been growing so much, I'm going to take some more cuttings and just get some more plants out of this one. So alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pot up my Monstera Adansonii. The potting mix I'm using is just regular houseplant potting mix. It's got ceramicus in it, so it is not that special. I haven't made my own at all yet. So yeah, this is basically what I'm working with. Putting it in a bigger pot. It's much bigger than what it is in at the moment. And I'm gonna leave the plant in its original soil because it's doing quite well in that, and I'm literally just gonna put in some fresh soil on the outside. Wow, look at those roots at the bottom. Put that right in there. And then I'm just gonna put some soil around the edges. Actually, I've got a little tray to catch whatever falls out of my hands because okay. I do try and get the remaining soil that I drop and then put it in the pot as well because it's all good stuff. There we go, so we've got my little Monstera Adansonii in its larger pot now. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pot up another plant just to make it pretty easy for myself. I'm going to use one of these pots. So I have my Tradescantia Nanook cutting. Look at that. She is so beautiful. That is crazy. Honestly, absolutely crazy. And the roots are pretty long as well, as you can see. So, she's going to get potted up. I'm going to pot it up in this one, yeah. Just to keep in a small pot for now, and then I'll put her in a new pot when she grows big enough. I'll leave the glove on. But I'd also recommend getting cuttings more than actual plants, even because when you get to see the plant grow, but two, it's a lot cheaper and you can get a lot more than just like a full plant. But some people want full plants, so it's kind of really up to you. But if you love plants but you just want like a cheaper deal, cuttings are the best way to go. And they will just turn into the big luscious plants that you want anyway, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I was very lucky to get this cutting actually, because I don't see a lot of the Nanooks around in any garden centres or anything near me, which is crazy. I see a lot of like Tradescantia quadricolors and tricolours and stuff, but not really the Nanooks. I might have seen like one, but it was way too much money, like way too much, because it was like a really big plant. I didn't really want a large plant, I wanted quite a small one. You just don't get that anymore apparently. Not in where I live anyway, which is unfortunate. And there we go. We'll be watering these guys later. I'm just going to pot them up first and then give them all the watering afterwards. It's so much easier than, you know, potting up, watering, just do it all at the same time. They're not going to die instantly. Right, so the next thing I'm going to pot up is my red stripe Maranta cutting. So this is one I took a while ago, and I believe that root, it's just long enough for it to go in. It takes forever to root these ones. I've got some Maranta Lucanura ones, and they seem to root right away and like root really like quite fast for me, but this one takes forever. But this one has got like at least an inch or so long root just to pop in, and it will just do the rest on its own really. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm literally just going to make a hole in the soil and then pot it up like that. So little hole, pop it in, and then we literally just use the soil that we have in the pot to press around. And that is the most easiest thing you can ever do. If you have like a plant and it's not like as full as you want it to be, and if you can take cuttings, just take some cuttings and root them and then pot them in, and then your plant will get fuller and fuller each time, and the cuttings do grow. So hopefully I'm not going to be stuck with this forever. I haven't seen any new growth in here. Oh, actually I think I might see new growth. Well, I haven't seen any new growth yet, but I'm hoping there is at some point in the near distant future. If not, I'm going to have a lovely 3-leaf Miranda for the rest of my life, but I've got a bigger one anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The next I'm going to be potting up is these Tradescantia quadricolor cuttings. So let's go check. I think all of these are rooted perfectly. So check one by one, and yeah, there are quite long roots, long cuttings I mean, and they do have quite long roots as well. If you have like longer cuttings with like lots of nodes, you have more of a chance of your cutting actually like rooting, and more chances of roots growing in every single node area. And it's crazy because they've all rooted so nicely. So a few to show you, if you can see. But yeah, I've got a lot of cuttings, and these are all going in this little pot here, and then we are going to be selling it at some point maybe. But Tradescantias grow really fast, so you don't even need to worry about like chopping them down, because I chopped this one down fully and it has already started to grow loads, and it's been underneath my grow light, which probably really helps. So the best way of me doing this is just to be taking this whole plant out and then taking the soil out with it, and then putting them all in together, because I think that's the easiest way to go, unless I can just make a big hole. But I risk more of a chance of ruining the roots by doing this, so I'm going to just take the whole plant out fully. Or maybe not. I have an idea. Like, the majority of you will be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Don't do that. But this is how I'm going to do this, and you can have a go at me if you want. You can tell me this is wrong. This is my way of doing it, and I've done it before and it hasn't like affected any of the plants that I have done, so it doesn't particularly matter as such, because I did that with my Maranta, my red stripe Maranta. I literally just got did this and it worked and it hasn't died, so touch wood. But yeah, I did this with that and it's absolutely fine, as long as you don't destroy like the main roots part, and you just be as gentle as you can, doesn't really matter. Put back in, so we have a lot of space here now. We are literally just going to pot in the newest cuttings on that side. I'm going to put all this soil back in here afterwards, don't worry. So what I'm doing is just lining up where the roots start, so then they can just all go like that. And it's also better just to pot them all up as they are, like this, so you can literally just pop it in. You won't have to worry too much. Put my glove back on. And I'm going to slowly just pot in, just going to pot in this soil that I have here. And then with the soil that, and if I need more then I'll just use more out of my bag I have right in front of me. There's no problem with the soil on the plant, absolutely fine. You can still use the soil that you took out. You don't need to put new soil in if you repot a plant. You can still use the soil that you have, like the plant is like the roots are wrapped around, before then potting up with new soil. But there we go. So this plant is so much more fuller now and it's crazy. So I'm going to let that grow for a while, probably take some more cuttings off of that, but I'm most likely going to sell this one because I don't want it, because I love this one already and this one is doing so well, and I might put it in a bigger pot, but for now I like it in this little one and it's grown so much. So the last propagation I need to pot up is my polka dot begonia cuttings. I think there's about 4 cuttings in here actually, and I need another pot, so, oh no, it's 3. Oh, I'm right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Ooh, pop that to one side. So these cuttings are done so well, and it's crazy to think that. So yeah, look at these roots. The roots are incredible, and they've got some new leaves as well. All of these have got new leaves popping out everywhere. I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah, and look, new baby leaves there, crazy. And this one has got like the most. So this one came as like, I think it is a pear, and this one has recently got a new leaf, but this one's got some good root growth as well. So I'm going to put all of these up because they're bringing out new leaves and they've got good strong enough roots for me to, for them to survive and for me to pot them up now. And this has been about a month or so since I've had these going, and maybe a bit longer than that actually, maybe like a month and a half. So they do take quite a long time to root, which doesn't matter at all. So I'm just going to fill all these little pots up, and then I'm going to put them in. Quite difficult with some of these because they have roots, but also they have like new leaves growing up on the sides. So don't you just hate it when you're potting up plants and like the leaves just get like covered in soil? It's so annoying. Alright, there we go. I'm actually not going to use gloss for this because it's so intricate. Right. trying so hard not to like pot up the really tiny leaves here because they're so close to where the roots have grown. I'm trying to knock them off either. Right, so that's one done because the roots are growing in such like a weird way that this plant is a bit slanted, but that's the first cutting that I've potted up. I'll go for this one next. So if you see, we've got the roots here, and then you have like the new growth here, and it's crazy because they're all coming out at different like angles, and it's just going everywhere, and it's just crazy. Bit of a bark in there. Always take out the big bits of bark. Doesn't matter about the small bits, but the bigger parts, just make sure that you take them out. There we go. And then last but not least, with this bigger one. So yeah, I'm putting like all of them in like the same what's the word? The same size pots. Only because it's just a sensible thing to do as they're quite small at the moment. Even like the bigger one with like the big leaves is very small, so it doesn't matter about the size as long as it's smaller. Small plant, small pot, and as they grow and they get bigger, then yeah, you can put them in a bigger pot. We have everything potted up. Right, so now I'm going to water them, I'll come back and then I'm going to cut up some of my Tradescantia quadricolor, and then we're going to propagate that. So the last but not least, I'm going to be propagating my Tradescantia quadricolor because she's grown so much, and I just thought that it would just be a great time for me to just start getting mini plants. So yeah, so literally I'm just going to be cutting her up. So finding the node, you see the dark purple notches, you literally just cut below or above there, make sure there's enough space, and I'm just going to go around and do that. Okay, so that's as much as I'm going to cut off, and this is what we've got, this whole little bundle here. So I'm going to put this to one side, and I always make sure I leave at least 2 or 3 leaves at the top, and then I just pull off the rest. So that's what I'm just going to do. So if I just show you, I always leave it so like there's like a lot of like 2, at least up to 3 nodes, maybe a bit more, but literally just see those little dark spots there, that's where the nodes, that's where the roots are going to come from. Leave about 2 leaves at the top, just so the plant doesn't like give the energy to these leaves that you do not want, and you always take off the bottom leaves. I think I'm going to cut this one in half because it's quite long, so I'm just going to give it a little chop, I think from, yeah. So in this instant, if like your like cutting is really long, I've had a few instances where I've made my cuttings too long, and then it's very difficult to put into a small pot if you want to like start your little cuttings in a small pot, as you should do, instead of like a larger one. It's just like I only have 1 leaf on this one, but it doesn't matter because the leaves just help hold it up. And then here we go. So the next part is, I'm just gonna throw these in there, move these out the way, right, and then I've got this little glass Coke bottle filled up with water, and I'm literally just going to put all of these in. So what I tend to do is I literally bunch them all up like a bouquet before I put them in, just makes it easier for the plant to just for the propagations to sit in nicely together. And this doesn't stop the plant from all these cuttings to root at all. I've done this before twice now, and it hasn't stopped any of the things, apart from if it's like larger plants like polka dot begonias. I would recommend putting a couple cuts, like at least 2 cuttings or 3 cuttings in like a little pot each. If not, then just yeah, just because they don't want to be all together apparently. And then we just make sure that they all are in the water and none of them are sticking out. We have all the nodes in the water, and there we go. So that's what we got. All the nodes are in the water. It's going to take a good couple of weeks for these to root. So that is everything, and I think we're sorted. So if I've got anything else to put in, any like other little videos, I will put it in. I've got a few updates on my propagations. So as you can see, I've got philodendron micron cuttings in here, because all my polka dot begonia stem cuttings kind of all started to mould and didn't really take, apart from this one here, which is doing really well for some reason. So I'm guessing this is not the best idea to doing polka dot begonia stem cuttings and having them like this, but definitely water cuttings like this one and the other ones I have potted up. So yeah, also I have made more string of hearts cuttings. So I've got 3 pots full of them. I thought I put enough sphagnum moss in. I put too much sphagnum moss in to the point where it started going mouldy at like the bottom when I had I think it was this box, and I had to spread it all out and get rid of all of the moulded sphagnum moss and just do it all over again. But this time I did it in 3 little boxes, and I literally put minimal amount, like there's literally a really tiny layer, and I've just cut up the rest of my yeah, just like the long part, and just trimmed it down again on my string of hearts, and that's why I have 3 boxes full, because I had added 2 extra boxes. And also I have a variegated string of hearts cutting here. As you can see, the roots are growing quite long, and I wanted to pot it up in this little pot, but I completely forgot that I had to do this. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now, and just pop it in. I can't do this with one hand. You cover the roots, and then I'm just going to water it, and then we are all done. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!